Howdy. The chickens just started a conversation, as you can probably hear in the background. But let's try not to get disturbed by it. I have been talking about this weather pattern which could probably emerge. And I have been somehow warning about this occurring also in wintertime. Let's see if it happens in this summer again. It didn't happen until now. Like, briefly we had a few days where we had a high pressure system, but it didn't occur as I have been somehow warning about. And it has to do with the surface conductivity anomaly and the Kursk magnetic anomaly, which goes actually down here to the Ukraine. And there has been some interactions with weather and the surface conductivity anomaly some days ago when we had a crack in Earth's magnetic field. I made a video about that, which the opening happened just about here, where we have an interface of the polarities of the surface conductivity anomaly. And I have been also talking about this. The worst scenario of all is a severe frost and windless high-pressure ridge that persists in the north, and Finland has not received an Olkiluoto 3 unit for commercial use, says Pia Ösch, director of the Energy Supply Department of the National Security Agency. It didn't occur yet that we would have this very strong high-pressure system here, which would provide us with very cold air and sunny skies, which is a good thing. On the other hand, Olkiluoto 3 is late again. Nuclear power. Teollisuuden voima. Industrial force. Or power. Translated. But it's a name. So that's maybe the reason why it's not translated by Google. Says that the start of the plant's regular electricity production will be postponed again. The start of regular operation of the Olkiluoto 3 power plant is delayed again. Teollisuuden voima, TVO, which owns the power plant, says on its website that the power plant's regular electricity production is now scheduled to start on April 17th. According to previous information, regular electricity production was to resume on April 15th. Now let's see if they get it online or on the grid once then. It's just about somewhat 14 years late, so 2 days don't matter that much anymore. And about the weather still, I have been watching Windy, and I have been in a way waiting for the high pressure system to take place and do its thing, as I somehow was expected. But I also said, I think also many times, or several times at least, that I might be wrong after all this. It won't happen. And we had this polar vortex split thing going on. And somehow the weather patterns are a little bit different than they are usually. And if we take a look at Windy, this is surface now. Let's go a little bit higher up, not too much. 750 meters, for example. We will notice something, that the air is coming down here. And if we look at the Atlantic's wind pattern, we will notice that they go northwards here. Nothing is reaching really Europe as it is supposed to be. What do I mean by it is supposed to be? The prevailing winds. In meteorology, prevailing wind in a region of Earth's surface is a surface wind that blows predominantly from a particular direction. The dominant winds are the trends in direction of wind with the highest speed over a particular point on the Earth's surface at any given time. You can read the stuff. So this is now a map of the winds, how they are supposed to be in a way. The westerlies, the polar cell. And here it should go somehow to the Americas, and in a way it should come back here to the north in order to provide Europe with warm weather, especially England. And also some parts of Norway are really, how to say, like, they need it, otherwise there wouldn't be this kind of weather in England. And here we have this 60 degrees north line, and the winds, they shouldn't really go below that. And here's another map. These are the winds which should provide Europe with warm weather, but somehow they don't do that at the moment. Going quickly over to null school, you can see that the weather pattern doesn't really look like on Wikipedia, because the winds from the north, they reach very far down and then they turn eastwards. And the winds which should go here to the Gulf of Mexico, they go up north, south of Greenland. And the other ones don't even reach anywhere close. Now going back to windy. Let's put on the pressure isolines. We have a low pressure system here, which is rather big. Now let's just push play and watch how it goes. There is no high pressure system which is settling here, but there are several, like, as you see, there's a low pressure system there. So there has been happening some kind of, how to put it, polarity switch. And there's a low pressure system coming in here. That's the first one. I think there's at least another one which takes about approximately the same path. And that's a rather strong one, 975. And there's like very big low pressure systems also over the Atlantic, which could provide Central Europe with some precipitation, which is needed. There might be again this year news about the hunger stones. If you see me, you weep. Yeah, like I said, there are many rivers of Babylons out there, many Zions, many Babylons. And that's the same stories of Earth's history in mythology are told all over the world. There are many dragons. There are almost, I think there's in every mythology something like a dragon. They have different names and different kinds of attributes according to environmental pre-prints, let's say geological features or whatsoever. And if you look at that map here, there's a high pressure system down here over the Azores. And a high pressure system over here. But a very big low pressure system, somehow reaching down from the north, and it reaches as far south as Spain. And it is rather big and rather strong, 971 hectopascals, I assume they are. So there could be something going on, like, which is related to the El Nino, which is like, what, third time in a row, which shouldn't be. So there is something very massive going on, which might prevent the occurrence of this high pressure system I've been talking about earlier several times. And this is the polar vortex, which might be the split of it, what we are watching at. And this is a Birkeland current which connects us to the sun. So it's much stronger than those regular weather patterns we experience on the surface of Earth, which might overpower the surface conductivity anomaly and stuff like that. Now let's go a bit down in height. And you can see here I was pulling cold air from the Arctic down into Europe. And these currents are very strong. Like the Birkeland current goes through Earth. And since the sun is ramping up in activity, whilst Earth's magnetic field is weakening, we are witnessing very big changes in weather patterns. So I still think it could be possible, at least for some amount of time, that there is a high pressure system which will settle somewhere here. And maybe the surface conductivity anomaly is the reason for why we have this rather windless region here. But for now it seems that the weather is more attracted to the blue regions of the surface conductivity anomaly, which I think could be low pressure systems. For some reason, these are the ones in play at the moment and not the red ones. And they are also visible here. No, I missed. Here. And there has been some high pressure systems, like rather stable in Central Europe. And this could be the reason for that. It's the Heb Basin near Poland, Hungary, where we have volcanoes. Yes, wake up people, there are volcanoes there in Central Europe. Here on top is the actual spin vortex diagram. The North Pole produces a counterclockwise spin, while the South a clockwise spin. So there is something going on with the polarity of the Birkeland currents, which is obviously much stronger than whatever surface conductivity anomaly at the moment. Or maybe not much stronger, but it seems to be more attracted or having a bigger influence on that. And that might be the reason for why the high pressure system over Scandinavia didn't took place until now. Maybe it's still coming, maybe in summertime after the spring equinox, and when the weather gets the summer pattern, so to say, we might experience once again extreme heat, blue skies, and drought here in a rather big region. Aurinko porottaa, the sun is reindeering. We can then say once again. But until now, my warning or whatever theory or stuff about the high pressure system, it didn't took place, which is in a way a good thing, in a way not. So at the moment it seems that the other polarities are in charge, hence the low pressure systems. Yeah, I am following this all the time, and now after some time of not talking about that, I felt that I have to talk about this because the pattern I warned about didn't occur. And there is a reason for that. Maybe it's the split of the polar vortex, which obviously split it in two polarities in a way. And yeah, maybe not many people were expecting the sun being as active as it has been. 2x2 flares we had already in a rather short amount of time, and there might be more coming because there are like more sunspots and active regions turning towards Earth in the next few days. And at least two of the in-turning regions, they are very active. And the weather is driven by the sun. Yeah, it's very interesting to follow. But I think in some amount of time we will again witness high pressure system taking very stable positions in the region I've been talking about. For the reasons I also have been talking about: surface conductivity anomalies and magnetic anomalies and such things. But anyway, I leave it here. There is bad weather coming to many places in Europe. Yeah, and I bet many other places on Earth as well. Southern Hemisphere, yeah, there's no good weather anywhere. But for now, I think I leave it here. What I have been warning about didn't occur. I was wrong. It doesn't matter. It flipped around the other way. From high pressure systems into low pressure systems. We have a split of the polar vortex. We have El Nino anomalies occurring 3 times in a row. Maybe there's a 4th time upcoming, I don't know. We have very much water vapor very high up in the atmosphere from the Tonga eruption and stuff like that. They all could have influences on the big picture, of course. But as time goes by and as watching things going on, we might figure out why it's so, why there is no high pressure system building up over here. Because there has been some high pressure systems building up in Central Europe, and they have been rather stable for some days. Yeah. It's all about learning. So let's see if there's a high pressure system building up over Scandinavia or the Baltics or Russia in this region here. We also probably will notice that. But until then, be prepared. There is some bad weather probably coming to Europe, Central Europe mostly. And yeah, there's actually a low pressure system spinning around in the Adriatic Sea for quite some time. Sometimes it's stronger, sometimes it's less strong. And it might indicate that there is something really very big going on beneath the surface. And Iceland, there are several places which are quite ready to erupt. Some of them, they have even caldera lakes, which are usually frozen in wintertime because it's so cold. But now one of them has melted in wintertime. Yeah, but I leave it here once again. To more than 20 minutes to get anything said, and still I feel that I didn't get anywhere. But for now, I leave it here. I got stuff to do. Thanks.